Hey everyone, this is GFrom bringing you my 23rd video game review, which is Tomb Raider 2 for the Sony PlayStation. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, so let's not waste any time and get started.
Alles Klotz Productions.
GFrom, the gamer, the legend, he's come to show you the way in this world of games. GFrom reviews.
Once upon a time, the Emperor of China used the mystical dagger of Xian to command his army. By plunging the dagger into his heart, he turns into a dragon. The last battle which was fought with it ended in defeat when a warrior monk of Tibet removed the knife from the Emperor's heart. Then the dagger was returned to its resting place within the Great Wall. In present day, Lara Croft investigates this legend and starts a search at this place. Like its predecessor, Tomb Raider 2 is an action-adventure with a high emphasis on platforming and puzzle solving. When you first start playing, it all feels very similar, but there's actually a bunch of things that are seen here for the first time. In addition to walking, jumping, swimming and hanging on ledges, you can now climb ladders and perform a mid-air roll, which you also can use underwater. The thing that amazed me the most as a kid was the fact that you get a whole bunch of new weapons in this game.
Yeah, drop the beats.
With the exception of the magnums, the weapons from the first game are all present in the sequel. New to your arsenal are automatic pistols, an M16 rifle, an harpoon gun and a goddamn grenade launcher. When I was 7 or 8 years old, this literally blew me away. For the first time ever, Lara can use vehicles. There's a motorboat in Venice and there are two different types of snow scooters in Tibet. One of them is really fast and the other one has some good old machine guns. There's almost the exact same number of levels in the first two games, but the levels in Tomb Raider 2 are a lot larger for the most part. It can take hours to complete one level, especially when you play this game for the first time. To complete a level you must solve many puzzles, perform insane jumps and collect keys. Unlike the first game where there only were a handful of human enemies and there weren't that many enemies in general, this time there's a bigger focus on killing enemies, of which most of them are human. Other enemies include tigers, sharks and not one but two T-Rexes. Two big ass dinosaurs in the first level. Now tell me that isn't epic. Instead of finding secrets that reward you with weapons or mini packs immediately, you now have to find 3 colored dragons. If you manage to find all 3 of them, only then you're rewarded with a sweet little bonus. Do you want to know what my favorite part of this game is? Finally, like in the MS-DOS version of the first game, you can save wherever and whenever you want. No more retarded save crystals. Thank God. I don't even want to think about how frustrating this game would be if you couldn't save on every corner. Gone are the spiky boobs. Am I really going to talk about titties now? Lara looks a lot better than in the first game. She now has a free-flowing ponytail, she also had one in the CGI cutscenes of the first game, and an overall smoother look. I'm sorry to say that, but the best example for this, unfortunately, are the breasts. Come on guys, we all thought that was pretty awesome at the time, right? Instead of wearing the same outfit during the whole game, she now has 3 outfits in addition to the traditional tank top and shorts, which I thought was a nice change. While still edgy, the graphics have been enhanced. The lighting is better as well. Besides the new flares, some weapons also light up the immediate area. Unlike the first game where you had the feeling of being completely isolated and lonely, this game feels more open for several reasons. You're actually outside and able to see the sky in a few levels like Venice or Tibet. But that doesn't change the fact that this is a very dark game with a creepy atmosphere. The underwater levels are a really good example for this. The colors dark blue and black dominate this place, and right at the start you are thrown into the open-ended ocean with sharks and no clue where to swim. Again, this was mind-blowing when I saw this the first time. The most impressive and arguably most scary levels are the Temple of Xian, floating islands and the Dragon's Lair, thanks to the great level design and the creepy music. The sound is one of the best parts of this game. Most of the time you hear nothing at all with the exception of your own footsteps or some other thing lurking in the dark. It's always exciting when you hear an enemy but don't know where that bastard is. Lara has a new voice which I really like. Every now and then there's some orchestrated music which is perfect to set the mood for this game. When it gets exciting it gets loud, and sometimes when you climb a ladder you get to hear the piece of music that I like to call the ladder tune. The sounds I like the most are probably the background sounds, like the echoes and the machinery in the offshore levels. Development of Tomb Raider 2 already began before the first game was even released. In 1997, the game was released for the PlayStation only and not for the Sega Saturn this time. For many people, this was the most anticipated game of the year, including myself, since I thought the first game was the best game I had played to this point. Long story short, this game sold 7 million copies, making it the second best-selling Tomb Raider title to this day. Like its predecessor, this game was re-released for the PC, including an add-on called Golden Mask. There are various cheats you can perform, which you all can find on the internet. You can skip a level, get all weapons and even explode. But here I have something for you. While fighting the dragon, just stand here and shoot him. He can't reach you there, but you can fill him with bullets. In Lara's mansion, go to the butler and jump over him a couple of times. That poor old man can't control himself anymore and starts to fart for real. Some guys just can't handle attractive women. Many people complain about the pixelated graphics and the stiff controls. I'm not one of these people. I grew up with these controls and I never had any problems with them. Back then, the only real problem me and my dad had was that the game was just too dark. Sometimes we couldn't see a damn thing, which made an already difficult game really difficult. But as it turned out, it wasn't the game's fault. There was something wrong with our old TV. Good times. I remember we had to get Grandpa's useful advices frequently because a lot of times we didn't know where to go or what to do next. Like in the first game. My only complaint I have up to this day is about a level called The Deck. This has to be the hardest goddamn motherfucking level and it took forever to beat it. I've played this game so many times over the years and the deck still gives me nightmares. It's like every time I get to this level, I'm like, oh man, not the deck. But to be honest, the Opera House and the floating islands are pretty damn annoying too. I have so many fond memories of watching my dad playing this game. As a kid, the most awesome things for me were the new weapons. That's funny because when I think about it, I almost always used the pistols because I didn't want to waste my ammo. The enemy selection is really good in this game. I don't mind the fact that most of them are people who all look the same and beat up on women. You know why I don't mind that? Because they're all gonna die. The coolest human enemy is the guy with the freaking flamethrower. The dragon at the end of the game is amazing, and as a kid I had lots of respect for the Yetis in the Ice Palace. They scream like idiots. The level design is one of the best I've ever seen, and after all these years I still run around clueless a lot of the time. The puzzles are very good and challenging. What keeps you playing is the atmosphere, which consists of awesome music and great lighting. I also like the training level a lot. There's this cool labyrinth in the garden and really guys, who of you didn't imprison the butler in the fridge? That's hilarious. My favorite level has to be the one with the monks. I always liked how they didn't attack you unless you attacked one of them. The last level in Lara's mansion was unexpected but a cool idea. And last but not least, the storytelling in this game is very nice. There are way more cutscenes than in the first game and the CGI ones were the shit back in the day. Tomb Raider 2 is the full package. With the inclusion of vehicles, a larger arsenal of weapons, more enemies and huge levels with difficult puzzles, this is the ultimate Tomb Raider experience. If you want to use your brain while playing a challenging action adventure with the greatest atmosphere imaginable, this is the game for you. If you can't handle the controls or dislike the graphics, that's fine, this game isn't for you. It's a shame that this game or the series in general never get the love and respect it deserves. Newcomers to the series with an open mind can skip the first one and start with the second if they want to. That's totally fine. On the PlayStation, I can't think of many games which are as huge and mind-blowing as this one. You should get a copy of this game. If it looks amazing to you, well, that's because it is.
Fortunes of Marco Bartoli.
It's ranking time. So far I've reviewed Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider 2. Which one is better? That's a tough question. In my book, both of these games are among the best I've played in my whole life. The sequel is a huge improvement in many ways. My dad and my brother both say that this is the best Tomb Raider game ever. While I think Tomb Raider 2 is better in a lot of ways, I would still have to go with the first one. It doesn't look as good and there isn't as much variety as in the second, but the atmosphere in that game is just out of this world. While you're outside a lot in the second game and there are humans everywhere, you're completely alone in the first one. You feel trapped and isolated, and that's what makes the first one a better game for me. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you liked my review of this very awesome game. Feel free to rate, comment and subscribe.
Make sure to check out part 2 of this review where I take a look at the PC add-on Golden Mask. See you later!